Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nadine and today I have a plucking tutorial and I just want to get straight into it because this is a very highly requested video. So I posted a video on TikTok and loads of people watched it and everybody wants to know how I achieved the plucking that I did in that video. So I was just like, do you know what? I actually have this fresh wig that I bought from AliExpress about like 2 months ago now. It's from a company called Hot Star Hair, and you know what, I'm gonna do a whole separate review on this hair. Watch out for that video if you want to see this hair. It's actually one of the top selling hair vendors on AliExpress and I wanted to buy it to review it for TikTok and I just haven't gotten around to doing that, so I decided let me use this wig to do the updated plucking tutorial. Okay, I know I said no editing in this video, guys, but I needed to readjust the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. I think I need to zoom in. Yeah, I need to zoom in and maybe bring my light down a little bit. Yeah, that is great. So okay, now that we've zoomed into the wig head, you guys are going to need a hard dome head to pluck your wig. You don't want to use the white styrofoam one. I'm gonna link a link to one of these little wig heads. This one actually does come with a stand, but I'll be doing it off the stand so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna put it in between my legs. What else do you need? You also need like a white towel or something underneath the lace just so that you can see what you're plucking, because I feel like when you just use the colour on the dome head you can't actually really see what you're plucking in comparison to having like a white base underneath. So I honestly just use some tissue. Yeah, so I also get an angled tweezer. You want the pointy bit to be facing downwards on the wig cap like this, and I always start off from the bottom end of my unit when it comes to plucking, and I just take a rat tail comb and I take out just the very front line of hair. Nothing too crazy. You want to take this out first to avoid over plucking the front of the hairline. So this allows you to not make mistakes, but you will never be able to over pluck the front of your hairline if you just take out the front piece of the hair. So make sure that you actually attach your frontal down to the dome cap with some, what do you call these again? Some T-pins. I only have two. I wish I had three. I would have put one in the middle, but I only have two. So I have one at the bottom end on this side and the other one is on the other side. So you want to get that hot comb and you really want to hot comb that hair back. This is super duper important. I think without a hot comb, you won't be able to pluck your hair in the most precise way because the hairs will just be all over the place. So you can literally see I'm like literally pressing that back. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you guys in just a tad bit more. So I'm going to give you guys a nice beginner friendly way because I feel as though the method that I use is quite professional, and if you are a beginner, me teaching you this method I think can cause balding spots. So the method that I literally use is keeping the tweezer pointing downwards and literally like doing this all over the frontal. So I will literally go in like this, but I don't feel as though this is a very beginner friendly way to teach someone, especially if they don't know how to pluck. So I'm going to go in with part of my old technique, which I call the Rake Method, which is essentially where I take the tweezer and I pick one spot. So I can start right here and I just pluck straight back in one line like this. Like I just go straight back, maybe like 1 centimeter into the hairline. So I've plucked one bit over here. Make sure you're taking the knots out from the root. You don't want the knot to stay on the lace. You want it to come out of the lace. So you can see that gap that I've created in the hairline. You want to skip the next bit. So you can see the space that I've taken here. Skip the next bit and then pluck right after there. So it's like a pluck, skip method. So you end up creating the illusion of like a rake. So I'm just going to pluck the next section so I can demonstrate what I'm trying to explain. Okay, so now that I've plucked this section, I'm going to skip the next section and pluck just after it. So you want to pluck back in a straight line for about 1 centimeter back into the hairline. You see, so here we have pluck, skip, pluck, skip, pluck. I'm gonna skip this bit and move on to the next section. Doing this method is really going to allow you to not over pluck. So I spend a lot of my time plucking, and I don't actually need to go in with this pluck and skip method anymore. I literally can just do it freehand and I know exactly what I'm doing. But if you're someone that isn't confident with plucking, I would definitely recommend you to try this method right here. So you guys can see pluck, skip, pluck, skip. And the amount of hair that I'm leaving is not even thicker than my nail. So you can see the part that I'm skipping isn't even like that much thicker than my nail. So you want to continue doing that all the way until you get to the top of your unit. So I'm just going to let you guys watch me do that. I just wanted to take a pause here so you guys can see what this is looking like from here to here in comparison to the rest of the wig. You can see that pluck and skip method, but this is literally only the foundation. This is not the finished result. This is just going to help you begin to thin out the hairline. This is nowhere near the final result. This is only part of the step. Okay, so you guys can see what it's looking like after doing the raking method, the pluck and skip. I'll show you guys what this side is looking like. Really thick and dense. And this is the beginning of the thinning out process. Now, the method that I'm going to use now is the method that I would go in, like I would go straight into the wig with this method without doing this first usually, but I just want to do this for anyone that's a beginner or for anyone that is kind of scared of over plucking. But the method I'm about to show you now, I just go straight into the wigs with it these days without doing this pluck and skip. But essentially, you still want to take your tweezer with the pointy part facing downwards, not it being flat like this. And the reason for this, the reason for the pointy bit being down this way is so that you're plucking a small amount. Like when you end up grabbing the hair, it's like you're grabbing a small amount. When you do it this way, it's like you're plucking out really big sections, whereas with the pointy bit down, you're plucking out smaller sections. You want to keep on hot combing your hair throughout this process, guys, as well, just to reinforce the flatness and just so that you can really see what you're actually doing. I feel like when the hair isn't hot combed flat enough, it can become very messy. And pointy part facing down, and you want to start going in with very light strokes and the areas that you skipped that are still very dense, so you can see the areas that we've skipped because that's the raked parts, I would like to call it. I like to call it a rake method because you know a rake, like when you do this, yeah, that's why I like to call it the rake method. I take the pointy part down and I just start very lightly thinning. Guys, I cannot believe that my camera stopped recording. I didn't even notice that it stopped recording, but let's get right back into it. So basically what I was saying is that I use the pointy part of the tweezer and I start thinning out the parts that I skipped so that everything can kind of blend together as one instead of looking so like uniform. So I just take the pointy bit down. You guys can see what I'm doing on the screen here. And I'm just going into the parts that I skipped and I'm just thinning it out a little bit. Just thinning it out until it doesn't look as uniform. And you want to keep on going in and doing this until you've reached the thinness that you like. And you just want to keep on plucking until the front of your hairline basically looks like the end of a feather. Or you can pluck it up until your liking, however thick or however thin you want it. Okay guys, so also if you really do feel like you're not able to get rid of that line of demarcation with the technique that I just showed you, what you can do is get your rat tail comb, hold the hair down flat and kind of look for where the hair starts to get dense. And for me, it is right here. And just take that rat tail comb and begin to separate the hair in the front that's light. Separate that from the hair in the back that is dense. So I've just done that with my rat tail comb and I'm bringing it forward, and that will literally expose all of the dense hair behind. And you don't necessarily need to go in with the technique of raking. You can honestly just go in with your tweezer facing downwards and just begin to do the method of randomly thinning out the hairline. You don't want it to be that organized. You just want to thin it out just a little bit. I feel as though if you thin it out too much behind this point, you will end up creating like a bald spot, and you absolutely do not want that. You absolutely do not want any bald spots. You just want to thin out behind the hairline just a little bit, just so you can get rid of that line of demarcation. So I'm just going to randomly thin out some hairs. And honestly, if you are happy with what your hairline is looking like, you do not have to do this extra step. But if you are thinking, you know, that hairline is looking a bit full, then keep on doing this. Keep on doing this, and it is literally all to your liking. I can't lie, this is a very, very thick wig, this AliExpress wig, which is the reason why I'm plucking so much. If this was like a HD wig, I doubt I would even have to pluck this much. But this wig is so thick and dense, and I want this to literally give scalp. Get your hot comb so you can see what you've done. So now you guys can see this hairline. One extra step definitely did make the world of a difference. So this is essentially the plucking technique that I do, and then I take that very first piece of hair and I take that back and hot comb everything back. So keeping that piece of hair in the front will really allow you to avoid creating bald spots, because even if you do create any bald spots, the hair in the very front will cover it. But you can see how boxy that looks now. But we are absolutely going to fix that. So you kind of do want to go in and do the Lagos hairline. So this is the middle of my wig right here. So I'm going to start off by carving a semicircle right here. So you want to carve out the best semicircle that you possibly can carve out. And create just a bit of a widow's peak. I think I'll actually just go in from here. And then I'll just pull all of those hairs out. So you can see already how natural this side was looking. I know you guys saw what it looked like before. You guys can even see right here. It just looks like a straight line, but as I've pulled out that initial part right there for the widow's peak, after pulling out that section, the next section that you want to pull out, you want it to be around this area here. So not where your sideburns are, literally just above there in this region right here. You want to do another semicircle. Right where you would usually put that bottom baby hair that's next to your ear, you want to go just above that and carve out a semicircle right there as well. So just carve it out until you're happy with what you've taken out. I think I might want to take out just a bit more over there. I think I have a very good visual image of a natural hairline in my mind. And if you guys aren't sure what a natural hairline looks like, literally just go on Pinterest or Google and look for a natural hairline, and whatever hairline it is that you like, that's your version of a natural hairline. But that Lagos hairline, to me, I think is a great representation of what a natural hairline should look like. Okay, I think that is a great amount for me as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out as well. Now you guys can see how much more natural the hairline is looking now that I've pulled those hairs out. And then I'm going to go back in with my tweezer. And right at the front of the hairline, I'm just going to actually get my hot comb first and hot comb everything back again, just so that I can see everything that I'm doing. Then I'm going to go in, and you see these places that we haven't pulled out, it's looking very organized. So you want to make that look natural by doing the pluck and skip method again. Hold on, let me just pull this down. Guys, when you're doing this, use way more T-pins than I'm using. I literally only have 2, but I was so determined to get this video out for you guys. So I'm just managing the 2, but it's making it hard for this wig to sit on this wig head. Now I'm just going to go into the very front of the hairline, because it's only the front of the hairline that isn't actually plucked, so you don't need to go all the way in. Just go to the very front of the hairline and begin to pluck and skip until you've achieved your desired look. You guys, can you see how natural that hairline is looking, guys? That is looking unreal. So guys, this is essentially how you do the plucking. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. But guys, look The lighting here is so terrible. Guys, look at the difference between this side and this side. Like, come on, you cannot tell me that this isn't just given the perfect wig hairline. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you guys want more tips and tricks when it comes to like hair hacks, how to, I don't even know what else you guys want to learn, let me know in the comments anything else you guys want to learn from me. But I really hope that this video really does help you guys, and let me know how you find this method. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.